Good Monday, everyone. Sorry we're running a few minutes late here. I got caught up at work. Unfortunately, we all can't make our living playing professional Heroes of the Storm. But we are here. We're going. Our first game is going to be a bronze level game. We'll be with a Johanna. And now that I finished my volume check, we can definitely get going. So first game here is a repeat customer, bronze level, Thorn on Johanna on Battlefield of Eternity. Johanna is, I think she's my second or third most winningest hero. She's one of my go-tos. She's a very strong tank, very much in the meta right now, and really good. Thank you, Troy, for the sound check. And in a good spot right now. Johanna and Dahaka offer the best wave clear for tanks. That's kind of Johanna's niche, is wave clear, and the fact that when she's played properly, really
prepare yourselves for.
So let's get this down to about here. So I'll be able to offer Thorn here some very specific suggestions on both build and gameplay. So let's take a look. We have a very traditional comp on our side with a Rag and a Joe forming the front line, Li-Ming, Hammer as the back line, and a Lili as a healer. I really like that composition. On the opposite side, Muradin, a Tyrael, who is an excellent hero. You don't really see too much of him in Hero League. Vala, Thor, and Malfurion. Both these teams pretty straightforward comps. So what you need to look at before the game, when you're a healer, a tank, assassin, whatever, is figure out what your priority is going to be. So if you were the healer, you would need to figure out who gets the majority of your heals. If you're an assassin, you want to figure out who your priority target is. In this case, you're a tank. Your main job in this comp is to keep Hammer safe and try to keep the engagements under the umbrella of Hammer Siege mode. Now, Hammer, in particular, with the opposing team that you have, needs to be really careful. Tyrael can dive, Muradin can dive. I know Sundering is a little bit out of the meta right now, but Thrall with Sundering, Vala with Rain of Vengeance, those are all tools that can be particularly disruptive to a Hammer. So on our red team here, we need to have Johanna and Ragnaros both need to be aware that their primary job is keeping Hammer safe, and hopefully Maestro on our Hammer won't let us down. I hope that our boy Thorn here picks up Reinforce at level 1, and he does. Reinforce is an excellent talent. There's only 2 talents I ever take at level 1 with Johanna, and it's either Reinforce or Regeneration Master. And on this map where globing is not particularly good, you definitely want to go block. Generally, you want to have 1 solo laner at the top and the other 4 at the bottom. With this composition, Rag would be your solo laner, so Rag really should be heading top to take care of that lane.
Let the battle begin.
Battlefield of Eternity is one of the few 2-lane maps on here, and more than any other map, Battleground, I would say, it prioritizes single target DPS. Your Rag is going to die up here. Nothing on you guys. At this point in the game, yeah, perfect. There you go, just counteract. Nicely done. So at this point in the game, the death, he actually got out. Good for him. What I would like to see is you up a little bit higher up in here to give them a little more warning, but that's not a big deal. But your positioning is good. You're getting Hammer advanced warning if they're going to respond to you guys. And now this is right when Thrall shows up here. This is when you guys should start withdrawing. I like what you're doing, Thorn. You're really zoning for that Hammer. Okay, so that was not on you. Other than maybe throwing some retreat pings in there, that Hammer stayed there way too long. I mean, you're doing what you can, but literally the entire enemy team responded, and there's only one of you. So that was definitely 100% on your hammer. Troy, let me know. I did turn the game down. Let me know if it needs to go down more. I can turn it down more. Now, though, you need to just get out and leave. That's disappointing. This early in the game, though, the death timers are so short. It's not ideal, but it's also not the end of the world. Remember, in the laning phase, your job is to soak the experience. When you're 2-on-4 like this, even though you're a Johanna and you're probably not going to die, it's expending a lot of health and mana for not very much gain. You can just soak back here safely. I mean, look at all that free damage you take, and you will get killed. Yeah, so that you shouldn't have died there, but you also shouldn't have done this far out. This hammer is hammer players, an additional reduction. Thank you. You know what else I can do real quick, as I can probably turn the mic up as well. Hammer players need to be aware that you can fight when you're not in siege mode. You don't need to siege to go into combat. You can simply run around as a tank shooting people. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Sergeant Hammer has one of the highest auto attacks in the game, so simply staying on your feet, moving around and auto attacking is fine. Don't siege up just to siege up. You need to siege up for purpose. So now that you have the objectives going here, this is one of my pet peeves. Mana management at the lower levels in particular is very poor. So you should not be hearthing back to your Hall of Storms as the objective is spawning. You should have already done it. Ideally, you want to have good health and good mana as soon as the objective pops, so you're ready to show up there on time and ready to contribute to the objective.
I shall purge your evil from this land, demon.
I'm not sure what our hammer is doing here. The objective has popped. Everybody needs to be reporting up there, especially Hammer. Hammer is your team's primary DPS on the Immortal, and Immortal, or a single target DPS, is highly prioritized on this battlefield simply because of how the objectives are done. So Hammer split pushing in this bottom lane is not a good idea. He really needs to be joining the team, and you guys all need to be heading mid for the objective right now. Alright, so let's see, carry on here. So look at how long this hammer is going to sit here. This is... Lily is babysitting him, but I mean, that's so much free damage for no gain, for literally no gain. I want to see you trying to lead your team up to the Immortals. Because right now, Vala is just wailing on the Immortal, and you guys have no response to it. So you guys are fighting down here for nothing. And look at all that free damage. Way too much free damage. I mean, Thorn, you're going to have to go back now. You can't go into... When your objective as the tank is to absorb damage, you can't go into a fight with like 15% life. That Muradin chased to his death. That was very silly of him. But look, you guys, look, because you reported so late, Vala and Tyrael basically single-handedly burned that down. Also important to note on Battlefield of Eternity, the... Apologize, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold. Important to note on Battlefield of Eternity, the first time the demon and the angel spawn, they're always one top, one bottom. And then at halftime when they swap, they are always in the same spot. They are always on the aggressive side. So you can be there waiting for them, always on the aggressive side. See, I mean, you just can't go in there with that low life and expect to make it out okay. I mean, this battle is really all over the place. go, and that's why. Okay, so your team lost the first Immortal. The first one's a little bit weak. It's not really the end of the world. But the split needs to be 4 defending and 1 soaking. And in this particular setup, you want normally it would be Rag in the solo lane, but you want Rag's Molten Core as part of the defense. I would probably, I guess, send Hammer or Leeming would be the ones, but if you don't send somebody to the solo lane, like if all 5 of you come down here, that's a mistake. Because you're missing out on so much soak. See, nobody is going top. Okay, let's take a look at this now. So if, I'm going to assume the 5 of you are going to defend this, look at the level difference right now is dead even. It's absolutely dead even. Let's look at it after this Immortal is defeated. So far, you're going to lose 1 wave of soak right here.
I shall march for Hell's gates.
Now this Hammer just sieging and eating a thing. Is this Hammer killing? Okay, so that was like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. This is the second wave. Look at, by not defending this at all, you gave up the entire top wall and 2 waves of soak. And now instead of it being dead even, you guys are about 60% of a level down. So not sending anybody to the top lane was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. And you guys still haven't sent anybody down up to the top lane. See, when I said you need to siege for purpose, what's the purpose? He's not going on there. You guys basically lost a fort because nobody responded to this. Okay, so in this situation, you know he's going to explode. Either take him away from the minion wave, make him choose to hit you or the minion wave. Don't let him get both. That's free value. So he hit you and the minion wave. If he just would have stopped back here, he had to choose. By running into the minion wave, you let him get both the minion wave and you with his trait. And that was basically a free wave's worth of experience for that. You and Rag should ideally be switched, but since you guys are already down there. Now, see, this isn't bad. Creep forward. There you go, and protect him. See, now the enemy team is doing the opposite. And look at that, he just ate. Absolutely ate. The damage on the Tyrael trait. Now your enemy team, they had an experience leave, and they gave it all up by not leaving anybody top to soak. There's 3 pieces of advice I think I would, from watching these. Now this is episode 19, so it means I've done like, you know, almost 40 of these replay analyses, and probably half of those are on bronze and silver. Die less, take smarter engagements, and don't neglect the soak. It's so important. See, this is one of those opportunities where we need to count. Ideally, you do not want to fight under the enemy's Immortal, because he's just going to provide free stuns for your own team, so you're always at a disadvantage. Particularly with this team comp, you have a Hammer and a Li Ming. You don't need to be under this thing to do damage to it. So fighting under this is a bad idea. I like that you're protecting Hammer. That's what you should be doing. And stay under his umbrella. That's really nice. Don't eat the free stun. See, this Hammer stays in siege mode entirely too long. Your Rag engaged while your Hammer was disengaging. You guys are just not on the same page, for sure. This is really, really silly. I would be surprised if Hammer didn't die here. Well, I guess he'll be okay if they just ignore him, but look, he ate a free stun again. This is unbelievable. They're literally just letting him sit here and blow their Immortal away. See, and in this case, where there's the 3 of you versus 4 of them, make them fight under your Immortal where you have an advantage. Out here, fighting at a disadvantage, you're probably going to lose. And you've already lost Lily. And there goes you. Right? That's one of those, you know, I just said die less, take smarter engagements, neglect soak. That was one of those engagements that was not silly, especially because they were ignoring Hammer. If you guys would have just backed out and waited, halftime would have come. How long does Hammer sit here, you think? And they just got a free fort with Mercs on the bottom that have been totally ignored. The Mercs on this map are some of the most powerful in the game. Trey, I don't know if they can see him there, but they can see their Immortal's health is going down, so they need to address that. They can't just ignore it. The Mercs in this game are some of the most powerful, or the Mercs on this battlefield are some of the most powerful in the game. You can't not ignore them. You can see they just cleaned up a fort on their own, which is why you'll see in high-level play they always time it at the same time of the objective. It gives them 2 different things to worry about. You have to worry about the objective and the Mercs push. So blue team got a huge XP boost off of a free push from Mercs. And I say red team is absolutely, once again, Hammer is just sitting here eating all that damage. And now look, Rag is going to go into a 4. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't go into these situations and expect not to get killed. Just count. And at this point right here, the Immortal is lost. They are level 10, and you guys are level 8. What you need to do is back way, way up. Once they jump on the Immortal, maybe you can have Li Ming throw some orbs in, but it's not worth dying over. You guys need to be in lane soaking at this point, basically. See, they 5 committed to this, so now you can poke down there to bring the shields down, but once they show up, you have to leave. You cannot fight. See, fighting here is a mistake for him. And that was an absolutely wasted Ancestral. It was completely unnecessary. And he just used an Earthquake on a Divine Shielded, both, so you baited out 2 ultimates, which worked out in your guys' favor, because neither one of those were necessary. So Rag needs to not use this one. Rag should be using this one back here on Molten Core in defense. No, you don't need to be up here. So one person needs to be in the bottom lane, which is fine if you do it, and the rest of you guys need to be back here defending. If Rag dies here, that's a big deal. Rag is good on this map because he's so good defending against the Immortal. You guys need to be focusing on getting level 10. So you want one person soaking the side lane. It shouldn't be your healer. Someone else should be soaking the side lane while you guys do everything you can to get level 10. So all of this is fine, except for stay behind the walls. Don't go out there. You just literally walked into the whole team of 5 of them, and look what happened. I mean, that was like insta-burst. This game to me looks over. I mean, I know it's not because the replay goes on another 10 minutes, but this is a good, I like this good aggression here. That lava wave really wrecked him. Look it, Hammer can do damage when he's not sieged. Alright, so you guys got a little bit of a gift there because the blue team overstayed their welcome. And they misplayed that. They didn't even get a keep out of that. I really thought they would get a keep. So I like the objectives. I like that you guys are collecting the mercenary camps. Hammer cannot. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is one of those things you don't want to do. This hammer has been split pushing all game. So right here, this is Red's vision. Everybody on blue team is up, and Hammer is going to come up here.
That feels much
And
better.
right now, next to the wall, there's Blue's vision. If you're blue team, where are you going? You're just going to go destroy Hammer. This is a very poor place to be, very far forward in positioning, and completely exposed. I would be surprised if Hammer didn't get rotated on here. Here it comes. And if Thrall, see now, if Thrall is smart, he's going to wait for at least Malf to come up here. Nope, he showed too early, way too early. Okay, so this is also a lesson in ganking. That was really poorly done by Thrall. If he would have waited another 5 seconds, his whole team would have been here, and they would have 100% got... So they used Strafe and Earthquake, when if they would have waited for all 5 of them, they probably would have needed neither one. So now both of those cooldowns will not be available for the Immortal. I like this counter push down here, though. This is smart. They just showed in the top lane, so you guys decide to take the bottom fort. This is really good decision making. However, as soon as this fort's gone, you need to leave. Nope, too late. Now you're overstaying your welcome, and you're in a bad position. So now look at this. You guys stay too long. Your healer is hearthing back. I don't know why. And Rag decided to take the core here once again. I'm not quite sure why. I think this is going to go poorly. You guys are going to get collapsed on 4v3. I have no idea why he did that. So Ragnaros players, you just showed it right here. The amount of damage that he can take while in Molten Core is really, really low. So, I mean, if you're close to the enemy team where they can just wail on you, they'll take you out of that really, really quickly. It's another wasted sanctification. So this is going to be 3 deaths because you guys didn't leave the fort. So why did this happen? I'll show you why. We're going to go back just a tiny little bit. The decision to get the fort was a really, really smart one. Go back a little bit more. Nope. Okay. So we're going to go on to Johanna right now. Okay. So this is Johanna. Okay, so right now you guys know Hammer just got picked top. You can see all 5 of the enemy team in the top wave, in the top lane. Absolutely push this fort. Very smart. You guys do it. You do a great job. Okay, now they're all gone, so you don't know where they're at. They could be responding down here, right? Because you don't know where they're at. There's 2 places they can be, and this is one of the things that you need to do as you climb in level, right? Is take the information presented on the minimap and figure out what the other team is doing. At this point, they're doing one of 2 things. They're coming to defend the fort, or they're getting the top mercenary camp, and you're going to find out very quickly which one. So Lily calls for a push on the fort. That's fine. This is time to count, though. If they show up, it's 5 on 4, and you guys need to leave. You cannot fight here. Also, you're down to talent tier 13 to 12. Okay, now you know the top mercenary camp has been taken, so that's where they're at. The next place they're going is here. That means you have about 15 seconds, I would say, before you guys need to not be here, otherwise you're going to get collapsed on. So we're at 10:52. Let's see how long it takes one of them to show up down here. All of this is great. All of this is great. 10:52. You guys finish off the fort at... Okay, so it took you 10 seconds to finish the fort. That's perfect timing. Everybody should be running back this way now. Running this way. Vala is showing in top, so you know it will be a 4v4, but even still, this is not where you want to be. What did I say, about 15 seconds? Look at on the dot, 11:07, Thrall shows up. Read body language. Thrall is acting like he has help. That means he does. This is a wasted lava core. So this, all three of you dying was because you stayed here.
Hero slain.
And this is the right move by your teammates, just to do whatever damage you can on this. Don't stand in the rings, just move. But he took so long to get around and set himself up for siege that he wasn't even there in time for halftime. And once again, you guys cannot contest this, so this is what you do. You do what you can to burn it down, but I mean, this is going to be done before your team even arrives here. And this is what you do not do. Don't run down here. Let's see if Rag dies. Okay, good, he left. Anytime you encounter the enemy, count. If there's more of them than you probably shouldn't be doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like Thrall right here. Now everybody's here. I suppose if you wanted to fight, you could. That's not a bad cups at all. Cups just kept you alive there, but look at this hammer. He's taking so much free damage. Oh my goodness. Now you guys are split. Now Lily's gonna die. And this whole time, the Immortal is pushing down here while you guys skirmish.
Hero slain.
That was a pretty good peel on Li Ming. It's going to be too late. She's going to die, but you were a little late, but you got there.
Thus ends my assault on hell in this dress.
Good lava wave. Once again, a very good lava wave. Lily way too far out in front. Nope. Great turn. Great turn. That was a case of you guys chasing as 3 into 4. That should be game. Are they going to end it here? They really should. I mean, they should have Katas coming in the top here. No, in the bottom? Yeah, bottom. They really should be ending here. Nice job by Rag, actually, to drive him away. No. Well done, Ragnaros. That was a really good defense. The other thing that hurt blue team here, if you don't know, when the core does damage, when you attack, it does splash damage. So if you stand next to your teammates, you'll all take the damage from the core. That's why you'll see high-level players, when they attack the core, they spread out. So they don't all take the core damage. The core, if you stay grouped together and the core attacks you, it's going to hit all of you. If you spread out, it'll only hit one of you.
I shall land in a moment, as will my foe. Repent before my wrath.
You guys are in a really tough spot right now. You're going to have mercs going down both lanes. You have no keeps. You're down 2 levels, and your hammer has abandoned you. So this game is pretty much over at this point. That was a nice blessed shield right there. This is finally a good sanctification. They haven't had one good sanct all game. That was actually a good sanctification. You guys are all going to get wrecked by the dwarf toss and the tranquility and the scrape.
Red team's core is under attack.
I am surprised. This we don't see very much at bronze. Them ignoring the objective and just ending the game. This is absolutely the right play, especially with Katas there. This is a nice desperation attempt by Rag. This is what I'm talking about though. The splash damage spread out a little bit. And for all shouldn't be attacking the hammer, everybody should be attacking the core on Blue's end. Okay, so this game's over. Let's talk about a couple things. First of all, your comp was built around a hammer that wasn't very good on hammer. That really hamstrung you. Look at the kills this game. That's the story of the game. And 9 deaths on Johanna is not good. It's not good. So let's talk about the role of the primary tank. When I email you the YouTube link on this, Thorn, if I remember, I will try to include Cavalier Guest did a really good written guide. It's very short, too, on kind of the basics of tanking. Essentially, your job as the tank is a couple things. One, oh my goodness, my mic cut out. I will start over. Okay, so I don't know where this cut out, but the role of a main tank. If I remember Thorn, if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. I hit the mute button with my elbow. If I remember Thorn, I will email you Cavalier Guest guide to tanking. It's short, it's sweet, and it's really good. So number 1, and these are in no particular order, is to initiate for your team. And by initiate, that's setting up your team's assassins to do their damage to a particular target. That's why the tank is so important on a team, because if the tank should be giving the team focus. That's Johanna's one weakness in her kit. Thanks, Corey. That's Johanna's one weakness in her kit, is she doesn't have a lot of great initiation tools. Her ultis are really her best initiation tools. Her condemn is a little bit weak for that. Even still, though. So initiate for your team. Set your assassins up for their kills. It's their job to kill people, not yours. 2, to peel for your assassins and your squishier heroes. So that's preventing the other team from their initiation. Protect your backliners from the damage dealers. A lot of time that involves eating damage, right? So eat those orbs from Li Ming instead of Vala, because that's your job. And I saw you doing that a lot in this game. I think the primary thing that you need to work on... Oh, let's talk about your E. So your E does basically 0 damage. Johanna's blinding light? Her flashlight on her E does no damage, basically. So you need to be using it for 2 things. The blind, of course. And in this case, it should have been on Thrall or Vala as much as you can. Blind them constantly, because that's damage prevented. And the other thing it's really good for is checking vision, dismounting heroes. I'll also use it on Muradin. If he retreats to the back line, you can just E him real quick to prevent his passive healing from proccing, because Muradin will jump in, take a bunch of damage, and kind of walk back out and heal up. So if you can throw the E on him just to prevent that healing from proccing, you can do that as well. The main thing I see on Johannas that die too much is not being aware of your Iron Skin cooldown. Your Iron Skin cooldown is your get out of jail free card. You should not be putting yourself in a hazardous position if your Iron Skin is on cooldown. You really need to keep one eyeball on that thing. I would hope eventually you develop a sense for when it's going to be not on cooldown. But if your Iron Skin is not available to you, you need to play more passively, and you need to adjust to that. The other thing that I saw you doing in this game, Thorn, was it's the numbers game, and it wasn't just you, it was your whole team this game, but you were certainly a part of it, was going into a situation where the only realistic outcome was you guys were going to die because you were fighting outnumbered. And you would go into the whole enemy team when your team was retreating. This whole game, your team wasn't on the same page, but that left you isolated amidst the enemy team a number of times. And I would say the vast majority of these kills, or of these deaths, were preventable kills. When I play Johanna, it's unusual that I die more than once, maybe twice. So that's certainly something you need to work on. The number one thing players can do is cut down on those deaths, and the best way to work on that is by choosing when to put yourself in danger more carefully. And I bet you that's what we said on the first replay we did for you too. So really keep an eye on that Iron Skin cooldown on Johanna. I will try to send you, if I remember, the link to Cavalier Guest's really great guide to tanking when I send you the YouTube link. And our second replay is, I believe, on Battlefield of Eternity as well, just coincidentally. So we get double dose of BOE. The second one is a gold level game. I always like doing 2 different levels. My hope is that we'll see a difference, because that game definitely had the feel of a Bronze League game to it. The red team in particular was all over the place, and really seemed to be outclassed from the get-go. All right. Whoops. So gold level game, Zarya on Battlefield of Eternity again. Zarya I do not play as much as I have Johanna, so we'll be doing more general pointers here rather than Zarya specific pointers. But with Zarya, she's kind of an interesting hero in that you pop a shield, but you actually want people to burn through the shield. And when the shield is gone, you're vulnerable. But you don't get damage unless your shield is up. So what that means is you need to manage your energy so that your energy is high when the battle starts. You don't want to build up your energy during the fight. That's one of the reasons you ever watch Zarya played at the pro levels. They'll put the shield on and walk into tower range. When they're not actively in team engagements, they are finding ways to keep their energy level up. You don't want to enter... that's not a bad idea for... Yeah, boy, Jay-Z. You don't want to enter a team fight with no energy. That means you're not properly managing your energy levels. So if you're going to play Zarya, that's something you need to be aware of, is learning those little tricks to keep your energy level up in between team engagements. So when you take that engagement, you're already doing damage. You don't want to build your damage up during the engagement. You want to have it already up. You guys have an all shields comp, Tassadar, Tracer, Zarya, Tyrande, and Artanis. That is a ton of shields. The other side has a lot more single target DPS with the Sylve. Anytime you have Sylve on Battlefield of Eternity, you cannot lose the Immortal because she pushes that thing so hard. So you need to be aware of that. And with Hammer and Raynor, they have a ton of single target DPS that I don't think you guys can match, even with Tyrande. So you cannot race them. You actually, in order to win the objective, your team is going to need to kill them and then win the objective. So these are the things you want to try to figure out before you start the match. Can we race them? And the answer, I think, is no. Let's find out. See, and look, they have this needs to be responded to. A Hammer and a Sylve. I mean, they're completely ignoring bottom lane. This absolutely needs to be responded to. I would leave maybe Tassadar bottom, because you're probably going to lose something up here, so you need to make up for it by leaving somebody bottom, maybe Tassadar, maybe Tyrande. I would like to see somebody bottom, but that has nothing to do with you. I like your energy level already, and I like the poke. Looks like you aren't going the kind of poke out build. There you go. I like how high your energy is. All of that was great. Zarya, when she has high energy, does a ton of damage. All of that was great. So you guys didn't overreact. You responded appropriately. Okay, so as Raynor here, when she pops the shield, I'm ignoring her. One of the tricks to Zarya, and playing against Zarya, if you're playing against her, don't shoot her shield for free. There was no reason he should have been shooting her. And when you're playing as Zarya, you want to pop the shield at a time when you can utilize it. So if it can be ignored, it's not a great time. There you go. See, Raynor shooting Zarya here is actually doing her favors. And if you got a Tassadar behind you, man, get aggressive. Know who's there with you. And keep, he's got an 8-second cooldown on that shield. Between the two of you, you should kind of be shielded all the time. Now you got 3 up here. With Hammer, you need to be more conservative. I understand that. Gartanis is coming up. Watch that mini-map. See if you can get set up for a swap. There's the swap, so you want to follow up on it. Now it looks like you're having some lag issues there. Maybe that's what happened. Nice job. Nice job. So far, yeah, boy, JD. I really like your energy management on Zarya. You kept it pretty high most of the early part of this game. And don't eat the free damage, though. Don't eat the stun. There's no reason for that. Move. There you go. I mean, I bet your damage is going to be tops in the game right now. It's got to be, yeah. Other than Raynor. But Raynor's number was inflated because he was shooting you with your shield on, which you don't want to do. So remember, I said it last game, know that the Immortals, on the first Immortal set, see, Hammer knows it already, they always appear in the aggressive area. I'm not sure what's going on down here. That's kind of weird. But I would really like to see all hands on deck for the objective. With Hammer, see, now this is a problem. With Hammer and Raynor on their Immortal, and you guys all scattered, you're probably going to lose the advantage that you have. I would be surprised if you guys lost the Immortal Fate. See, this was a mistake right here. This is one of those instances where you need to look at the mini-map and realize how far by yourself as you are. Your team is not coming to help you, so you should not be over here. There you go. And with that high energy, look at how fast you burn that thing down, man. Just put your Ghostbusters laser on that Immortal and burn that thing down. Don't run from him. Why are you running when you have full shield and full health? Turn on it. Especially if Tassadar right there. Look at how much damage you're doing. Don't run from that Raynor. Nice job. Way to recover from the little positioning misstep there. So you guys did win the first Immortal. Primarily, I think, because Red Team... There goes Tracer getting a little crazy. FYI, a good counter to Tracer is Raynor, simply because of his increased auto attack range. When she gets into range, all he needs to do is right-click her, and she melts really, really fast. See, all of this extracurricular stuff is very bizarre. Zarya, our boy this game, has been, for the most part, pretty on point. However, you need to be aware of how exposed you are. Look, you're all by yourself. Your team is nowhere near you. This is when you need to be... careful with your positioning and how hard you're going to push, because you're putting yourself in prime real estate to get picked right here. That's a nice safe retreat. Nice swap. Get that Rainer. Blow him up. Nice. So far, you've been really on point with most of everything you've been doing here. Yeah, burn that Dahaka down. He can't live through all this yet. Artanis got a little greedy there, and now if he lands that tongue, you might be in trouble. But nice little jukes there. You might be able to get Sylve. I don't think you should go for it because there's only the two of you. See, now that's a problem. Run, 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 run. All right. Yeah, look, I mean, just how quickly she melts when you put that laser on. So when you have an Artanis on the team, especially this one has shown he can hit the swaps. So when you see him coming, really kind of hold on to your abilities and hope he can get that swap so you can follow up. That's really what you want. Follow the Artanis. Nice, nice. Tracer hopefully finishes the job here. Nice. Nice shield on Tracer. That shield definitely kept Tracer alive because she took the fort shots there. Go peel for her. Go forward. Chase mouth away. There you go. All good stuff we're seeing here so far. This is a nice early start to this game. You're managing your Zarya really well. Really, really well. Keeping that energy level up high, which is so important. I like the positive words too. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, usually I check the email. I'm going to do that real quick on this one because sometimes the email will say something specific. Please help. Okay, that's a. Okay, so back up here. Something we all want. Nope. See, just cut your losses and get out. This is too much free damage for nothing. You want to always show up to the objective on time with full resources. So, especially with a hammer and a Rainer on the other team, you guys have to be aware of how quickly they can burn it down. You need to be at the immortal area when it spawns. That's really important. You'll find a lot of the time the team that wins this in Hero League, this is Solo Hero League we're talking about, the team that wins the objective is the one that's simply there to attack it first. So your Tracer, she's here raring to go. Artanis is lucky to get out with his life. Tracer's doing you guys a huge favor because everyone else is so late. Now you have vision. This is when you should see you're in a bad spot here. Your Artanis is nowhere near you guys. You're basically surrounded. You should be trying to withdraw. Once Task popped that vision, you should see all of this badness that's going to happen here and get out of there. Nice withdraw while keeping the poke on Dahaka. Well done. Good swap on the hammer. That's what you guys need to get him out of that. Nice follow-up. Nice follow-up again. You guys have a roaring start to this game. Tracer overstays her welcome, but still, a 3-for-1 is fantastic. And I've been really impressed with your energy management on Zarya. You guys just got 4 kills for only a Tracer who stayed too long. Whenever there's a Dahaka on the other team, listen for that burrow noise, right? So, like Tyrande in this case, when she hears that burrow noise, doesn't want to be anywhere near any of these vents. So you guys, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. But even though you won 4-0, they still won halftime because they have so much more burn on the Immortal than you guys do. A hammer and Rainer put out a ton of single target damage, and Sylvanas' single target damage is pretty good too. Okay, so the move for your team here is not to invade. What you guys want to do is back over here and defend, and put one person in the side lanes till you get level 10, and then you engage hard on them. Level 10 is such a power spike. So this here, you guys should not be engaging into a hammer. Everybody should be backing up. Maybe Tassadar taps a well or whatever. Get 10 and then go hard. So yeah, I like that. Whoever pinged defend here has it correctly. Defend, but somebody needs to go soak 10 off in the side lane. That's what Tyrande is doing. That's fantastic. Don't engage. I mean, I think you're going to get her anyway, but that got you 10. Oh, Tracers, you should never get hit with the tongue by Dahaka. Nice laser beam onto Hammer to drive him away. Good target focus onto Raynor. Now you guys want to win this Immortal objective. Don't chase them to death. Just get on the Immortal. If you had a shield coming up that soon, here, I'm going to go back here a little bit. I was wondering about that. Yeah. So you should know when your shield is coming off of cooldown. So 6 seconds. Okay, you get in here. You start to withdraw. You have 4 seconds left. I think you could have stayed in. And oh no, yeah, you see you had the shield up. I'm not sure why you pulled back there knowing your shield was coming up. Why? Oh, Artanis is being a treat because he needs to tap. Okay, so if he needs to tap your Q, you're at full energy. You can stand back here and Q onto this thing safely, especially because you guys have level 10. You can afford to be patient and wait for your team. This is one of those situations where you need to look at the minimap again and realize your team isn't with you. So I'm hoping you back up and start queuing safely. Nicely done. Tracer really put a hurt on them there. You Q into there, man. Q into there. Now put the laser on there. That was all great. You guys are completely in the driver's seat right now. Everything looks fantastic. This is hard to do. I know she did, but her shield was on cooldown, was coming off a cooldown right away. I think she could have stayed. In Hero League, it's so hard to get that good synergy. Sometimes you guys seem to have it. I'm really curious what happens here. Great synergy with the laser and the Graviton Surge. That's perfect. I like that you backed out of Hammer's range there. Now, what I am curious, though, I don't understand. Yeah, don't split push as Tyrande. You're this team solo. Well, I guess not. Solo heal, one of two supports. She should really be down here. Where's Artanis? Is he here too? Oh, Artanis must have just spawned. Oh, he hearthed back. That's right. He said he was Yeah, Tyrande really needs to be down here with the team. I'm not sure what she's doing. I mean, I don't know what Sylva's doing either. That's why. Tyrande, get with the team, man. Ooh. That's a good swap. Now, once again, though, this is a 4-on-4. You guys are fine. All right, keep it up. Oh, there you go. Turn and fight now. Turn and fight. Wreck him. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, that's a bummer. Now your team needs to leave, though. I hope Tracer gets out okay. So everything's looking good here. What you really, really want to avoid at the end of a game is staggered deaths. So I hope your team, yes, you can't continue to fight once somebody goes down. You guys, I bet you this is the turning point in the game. The next objective is going to spawn, and you guys are going to be at a disadvantage. And if you continue to fight at a disadvantage and you keep dying, those staggered death timers will cost you the game. See, even though you got Sylve out of it, I don't like any of this fighting down here. It's just, there you go. There's another one. Now, because of all that fighting, just like I said, when the objective pops, you guys are going to be at a disadvantage because you won't have Tracer. Tyrande, you probably aren't going to be able to do anything about Hammer by yourself. So kind of know the limitations of the heroes that you're playing. And I don't know why this is being taken here. Okay, you can see that they're all over yours. You guys just need to jump on theirs for right now. Oh, Artanis dies here. That's a big deal. Nice Graviton Surge there. That probably saved Artanis' life. Tyrande now very out of position due to that mind control. Oh, BFG got you guys. Killed 2 people, and now you need to leave. Do not continue to fight. This should be a retreat only. Okay, now look where you are. Even if you, let's even say that you guys killed Sylvanas, that was the best scenario when you chased her out of here, was that you were going to kill her, right? So let's say you killed her, and let's see what happens then. Yeah, that re-engagement when you're outnumbered, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. You guys can't defend this fort, just the 2 of you, so you shouldn't be out in front of it.
The demon moves for the gates of heaven.
And I didn't like that attempt for a swap, because even if he hit it, I mean, your damage was probably too, well, maybe not. Tracer's kind of close. Maybe if you had hit it, it would have been okay. But yeah, with the Sylve shutting down these defenses, now you can defend. And now you can actually be a little bit aggressive because you can see Raynor in that bottom lane, and you can't see Mouth, but now you can be a little bit aggressive. You want to try to avoid fighting under Hammer. That will absolutely kill you. Tyrande's going to die right here. And that BFG. Wow. Well, and that's game. Holy moly. All right, so what happened? First of all, your play on Zarya I thought was very good. So I don't think that was really on you by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that a Tracer who dies 6 times with double shields on the same team is not a very good Tracer. I thought she didn't play very well at all. But this right here is a perfect example of, one, the power of Sylvanas, Remember, the first thing I said was you guys can't lose an Immortal. What was the first thing that happened? They got an Immortal, and they just rolled it all the way to the end. To top it off, they got the Vulnerable right here, caused at least one death at the end, and the Mind Control and the Dahaka Isolation, just that the last series of team fights that ran down this backside were won by the Tongue and the Mind Control. Tyrande in particular getting caught out. Tyrande's doesn't have a really great place in the meta right now, even though this is really the only map you would pick her on, because she's not great at healing. She doesn't have a lot of mobility. So if you're going to play Tyrande, you really have to be good with your positioning on the backline, because she has no mobility. So if you get caught, you are toast. You're absolutely toast. And I'm not quite sure what this build was either. But I don't think really our guy Zarya played. I thought he played a really good game. You were, for the most part, where you needed to be. Your energy management was really good. I mean, top hero damage in the game, right? Far and away. So more hero damage than Raynor, which is hard to do. You didn't die very much. You had, top kills in the game too. You still soaked a lot of damage. You soaked the most damage in the game. Oh no, that's Dahaka. So really, I don't think you did in particular any there. I really think the Tyrande and the Tracer kind of led to that one. And really, at the end of that game, in the beginning, you guys had such good team synergy. And then at the end, it fell apart. A couple of picks combined with when they have a hammer, I said this in the beginning, they have a hammer and a Sylvanas. Well, if you guys lost the Immortal, it was trouble, and that's exactly what happened. You guys didn't have any dive. You couldn't get past the Immortal, combined with a couple of picks there at the end, and they just rolled it. They played their best the last 2 minutes, and you guys basically won the first 12 minutes of the game, and they won the last 2 minutes, but the last 2 minutes were big, and that's what leads to the end here. Just one of those things that happen sometimes, and I don't think there was anything you could have done differently to change that. I was actually pretty impressed with your Tassadar play, to be honest. All right, guys, well, appreciate you. Yeah, Boo is right. Boo is right. I tell people, if they ask, the best replays to send in are close games. Close games where there's no disconnects, no obvious feeders, nothing like that, where you think you played well, but you weren't an obvious carry, and so we can pick out those moments in the game where the game turned. And the moments in this game where the game turned was like 2 to 3 minutes ago when those picks started happening. Once you start getting late game picks and you have staggered death timers, when you see these throws, you're like, oh my God, we threw that game. What happened? It was probably staggered death timers. So that was the turning point in this game, was once your team started getting picked, you guys stayed in engagements when you shouldn't have. That's the number one thing I've learned from watching esports, is you'll watch these professional players, when they've lost a team fight, they just kind of cut their losses and go, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now in this particular game with the Sylvanas and a hammer, the Immortal was just a killer. Appreciate you guys sending in the replay. I will be streaming some Team League here in about 15 minutes or so with my guys if you want to hang out for that. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back next week, and I'll see you shortly. Have a good night all.